rAVe Radio. With rants and raves, you'll be okay. And today is your lucky day. It is rants and raves with Gary.
Hey everyone, back for another Steph Takeover episode of what is usually Gary's Rants and Raves videocast. I'm joined today by some very special guests. First one is Natalie Gillespie, Senior AV Support Specialist for Northwestern University, and she's also the DEI Chair for HETMA. And then also Annie Foster, who's Associate Director of Classroom Technologies at Washington and Lee University and also Secretary for HETMA. How are you guys doing today?
Great, thanks for having us.
Doing wonderful, thank you.
Of course. So you guys are here particularly today for HETMA. So can you guys first tell me a little bit about the organization and what it does?
Sure. You want to go
That's for,
first?
yeah, that's for whoever wants to take that. Sorry.
Yeah, I'll talk a little about HETMA. So HETMA is the Higher Ed Tech Managers Alliance, and it was formed basically as an advocacy organization for people who are in higher ed tech manager roles at universities to support, advocate, and just provide that sense of community that we felt like we didn't have before.
That's awesome. You guys do a lot for...
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, no, go ahead.
I tell people it's a bunch of AV geeks who work in the higher ed industry and who throw questions at each other like, does this really do what it's supposed to do? Or how have you managed this problem? We all share a brain trust so we don't have to reinvent the wheel constantly.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I also know you guys as the maybe one group at InfoComm who is possibly having just as much fun as us.
Yeah.
We try.
But exactly. So you're here today in particular talking about the Prism Scholarship, which is a really cool thing that you guys have started doing that I think kind of helps spread our industry far and wide and helps get, new faces into the industry. So can you tell me a little bit about the scholarship and what does it include when someone gets it?
Sure. The Prism Scholarship, it's part of our initiative to bring more diversity, equity, and inclusion into the AV industry, especially in our higher ed vertical. It is a scholarship that helps folks who may be underrepresented in the AV industry work towards their CTS certification for AVIXA. So we help scaffold them along the way, match them with a mentor who will work with them, be a voice for them, help get them through any hurdles that they encounter along the way. We provide them with a trip to InfoComm to network more and build their understanding of the industry, as well as Annie, am I forgetting anything?
Yeah, so AVIXA partnered with us to really provide the experience for the scholarship recipients. Mm-hmm. And so AVIXA is providing the training materials. They get access to the online training materials. They get a CTS study guide, and they get the test paid for. And so we encourage people to take the test at InfoComm so that they have the opportunity to have the support surrounding them. But they can take the test at any time and just join the community of HETMA.
That's really cool. So my next question was going to be who might be eligible for this scholarship and why is it important for them to kind of be pulled into the AV industry in this way? Hey, here you go. We're going to help you already set yourself up in the industry by getting your CTS certification.
Mm-hmm. Well, speaking as a former Prism recipient myself, it was a huge boost in my confidence, getting to go to InfoComm, meet all of these people that when you're in a higher ed university and doing AV, it's so easy to feel alone, like nobody else has the same issues that you've run into, that you're, racking your head to come up with solutions to these problems. And then you go to something like Infocom and you meet people from HETMA and you realize, oh my goodness, there's this whole community of people that can help. So we want to bring that to people who might not be comfortable there just yet because they're from underrepresented minorities, women, people of color, LGBTQ folks, people of religious minorities, all kinds of folks that may not feel as comfortable at Infocom, that may not feel as comfortable in HETMA even. This is trying to give them confidence, trying to bring them into a certification that can help them say, yeah, I'm not an imposter here. I belong here. I'm just as good as everybody else. And look, we can all put our brains together and solve problems together.
Yeah, I think that's the thing that I think of when I think of the Prism scholarship is that if you are thinking that it's not for you, then it absolutely is, and you need to be applying.
Mm-hmm.
It's for people who are in the industry, who already have a full-time career at a higher ed institution, and who consider themselves to be underrepresented. And we're really not putting a ton of quantification on like what exactly is underrepresented. It's more of like, what does that mean to you? And if you can explain it to us, then we're willing to listen and consider the application. We're really just looking for making the higher ed AV industry as diverse as possible.
Because the more underrepresented voices, the better. Because, we've had folks who've already gone and requested subtitles on the AVIXA training materials, and that helps everyone. So somebody's need becomes a boon to everybody.
Yes. And, I know our industry has like the history of not always being the most diverse or has the most like people from different walks of life joining it. So how might this kind of even help pave the way for people who are just now entering the AV industry? Because I know that is like kind of a bit of trouble in and of itself, is people don't know our industry exists and they're like, oh, there's this whole career possibility I didn't know I could have. So I know this is slightly different. This is for someone who is kind of already establishing a career, but I think these things could kind of go hand in hand, no?
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you hear it all the time now. If you see it, you can be it. And so we're trying to maximize the chances that other people see us. Like people who are underrepresented in the AV industry are out there. It's just connecting them and making that community.
Absolutely. And finding those folks before they drop out.
Yeah.
Sure. Because it's really easy to sort of fall into this industry backwards from all sorts of other places. Not many people set out to do this as a kid. I want to be an AV person. But this is trying to reach people who have somehow found their way here and support them and scaffold them and make them feel welcome and belong.
So I wanted to ask if you guys keep up with past scholarship recipients. Sadly, I know you said that you were one of them, but what have a few like past scholarship recipients gone on to do in their careers?
Well, I'm thinking of Ann Kelly, who just got a new job. I want to say, Annie, do you remember where exactly?
In the Boston area, yeah.
Yeah.
I think we have a lot of recipients who came on to HETMA, like they heard about HETMA either through the scholarship or through somebody else who was in HETMA. But after going through the Prism scholarship, they have taken on leadership roles within HETMA, which is really cool. Like it's an alarming number. I think it's like 50% of them.
That's actually awesome. I think, yeah, I mean, I think the scholarship is great. I think that it's really important to help people understand that there is a community for them there, no matter who they are, where they come from. There are people here like willing to like welcome them in with open arms and help them understand instead of like shutting them out of the, you know, like we don't all come into this industry with a CTS. I failed the test. I'll say it. So I think it's important to, you know, welcome new people in with open arms and be like, hey, we'll help you pass this thing. It doesn't have to be this huge thing that, you know, we're going to make fun of you if you don't pass the first time kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. No, it's absolutely, this is scaffolding people so that they can try and fail and try again, you know?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's got a history of just being like, so you just feel so downtrodden when you don't pass the first time. And I think like developing a community around people who are all trying to do this thing at once is really important and special. So I commend you guys for doing this. It's really great. Well, my last question is, how can someone apply for the scholarship?
Well, if you go to hetma.org/# Prism-scholarship, PRISM scholarship. That's our HETMA website, the main page that has a link to the application for 2024.
Fantastic. And when does that close?
It's kind of a rolling deadline. So we will begin reviewing applications in March and probably contact the recipients in April.
Awesome. Well, that's very exciting. I can't wait to see who got the scholarship this year. My last question for each of you is, where can people connect with you online if they have any questions or just, you know, maybe heard this conversation and want to connect? Annie, how about you?
I'm on LinkedIn, Annie Foster, but I have to spell it out because it's not typical. It's Ann and Nee, so ANKNEEFOSTER. And I'm on Twitter at InASkirt.
Perfect. Natalie, what about you?
I'm on LinkedIn, Natalie Gillespie, or at Northwestern's website in the Media and Technology Innovation section.
Awesome. Well, thank you both so much. And of course, we have Launch Week 9 coming up, which HETMA is a partner for us on. So I wanted to thank you guys for that. Again, we do appreciate y'all's partnership when we do these events. So to find out more about HETMA, of course, go to hetma.org. And then to find out more about Launch Week 9, go to lavnch.com. Once again, I'm Steph Beckett. Thank you so much, Natalie and Annie, for joining me on this episode of Rants and Raves.
Thanks for having us.